All right, welcome everyone. This is How to Play Like a Winner. I'm Jay Bunte, and today we're going to be talking about a winner's mindset, the current market. This is geared to not only loan officers, but also realtors. So I don't know exactly who is who on here, but if you have this type of mindset, you're going to win. All right, so let me get into it. What is a winning mindset? It's looking at the toughest market since the financial crisis, and a market that with the right work holds the potential for real estate agents and loan officers to win. All right, so what does that really mean? You hear it all the time. If you go online, you hear it in the media for sure that, oh, this is such a tough market, and you hear all this negativity, all this negativity. The winners are winning right now. They're actually embracing this market. You know why? Because the really strong ones survive, and the weak people, the weak ones that aren't in it, they're just half, I don't want to cuss. They're just lollygagging through this, and they're not serious. They drop away, right? All your competition is dropping away. And so we're going to be looking at today, how can you win? We're going to focus on what we can control. Guess what I cannot control as a loan officer? Can't control rates, can't control the market, can't control the Fed, can't control Jerome Powell, I can't control inflation. Guess what? All these topics, you go on Facebook, go on any of the social media channels, that's what people are talking about. That's all that you see, right? They're focusing on the wrong thing. I want to focus on things that I can control because that's going to take me and my business to the next level. The Fed, interest rates, inflation, all these things, tight inventory, those aren't going to take my business to the next level. I'm going to take my business to the next level by focusing my mind and having the discipline. All right. So we're not making any excuses. No excuse. Oh man, it's Halloween today. I can't do work. I can't call real estate agents. I can't call my referral partners. I can't get my pre-approvals out. Like, that's an excuse, right? Winners don't do that. So here are some tips on how I help structure my day. And it all starts with having the discipline and calendar planning. And so whatever you want to use, whatever, if you're an old school, I like to write it down, handwrite, which I kind of like doing. That works. If you have, some type of website like a Monday.com or something that you've built and the template like that, use that. The important thing is you're using something, because the worst thing you can do is not track anything and just assume you're being as productive as possible. And guess what? You're really not. Okay. So I time block. I literally go on my calendar. And for me personally, like, I'm most productive in the mornings, early mornings before anybody's awake. Or guess who's not awake at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever it is? Real estate agents, most of them, no offense if y'all are on here, buyers, right? Title agents, appraisers, like, nobody's bothering you during those hours. So I focus on my most important things that I have to knock out or that I need to knock out. I put it early in the morning and literally put it on my calendar. Like, one of the things that I'm really bad at, so I make sure I put it up front, is creating social media content, right? It's one of those things where, like, we all know we should be doing it, but as the day goes on, life happens, work happens, kids, sports, holidays, all this stuff happens, and you're like, I'll make that video next week. I'll make it tomorrow. Well, then that time comes, and guess what? You don't make it either. So I literally block it off. Like, hey, Tuesday mornings at 6 a.m. These are my, like, I'm for the next hour, I'm just going to batch shoot a bunch of content for social media or whatever it is. But you got to have it there. And following theme days is another, like, really, it sounds cliche, but it actually helps. Like, Mondays are going to be my pipeline days where we review the pipeline. Tuesdays are going to be all my pre-approvals. Wednesdays are all going to be my past clients. Like, whatever that is, whatever your kind of, like, the way you like to do your business, but just having those days is huge. Because, like I said, if you don't have that discipline, if you don't have the mindset, you just assume you're doing all these things, and until you start tracking it, you're not. All right. And so one thing that we do internally, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, but is tracking these daily sales activities. Like, what activities do you have to do? Because at the end of the day, if you're a realtor or a loan officer, we're all trying to help a client either purchase or refinance, and we're trying to get to closing. Everything we do prior to that we don't make any money for, right? I don't make money on how many phone calls I make or how many pre-approvals I issue. None of that generates income. What generates income is actually closing a loan, closing a purchase. You have to be tracking all of these activities leading up to it, the prospecting, right? The calling of agents, the calling of past clients, setting the appointments, like all these things. If you're not tracking them, you have no idea what you're doing. And so that is a huge portion of winning in this market, is being able to track your income producing activities. So let's talk about that. I have it on here. Do not let a non-income producing activity take the place of an income. So I see people get bogged down all the time, and they have a great idea, or they see something flashy online that somebody else is doing, or a CRM or whatever it is, and they go and they just go down this rabbit hole, and they end up spending hours, if not days, on something that at the end didn't help produce any income for them. And then they may even not even go down that route anyways. And so focus on the activities. You know what does produce income is following up as a loan officer, following up with my buyer agents, my listing agents, like keeping all parties of a transaction communicating with. You would be surprised how many people do not do that. Like these are activities that will produce referrals, and referrals will produce more loans, and more loans will produce more closings, and ultimately that generates income. That's how you win. And so you cannot get focused on all these other things that don't produce income. No offense to the CRMs and everything, those do have a time and place, but don't be like evaluating, as some of my friends do. Oh, I'm going to try out this one and this one and this one and this one. They got like 4 of them going at a time. They end up not even using any of them, and they just wasted all this time and money on some of them. So focus on what produces income. All right. Another thing, this has been huge lately, is become a weekend warrior. When do your clients usually call you? And definitely, when do they go tour houses? On the weekends, right? Most clients that are buying homes have a 9 to 5 or some type of job with kids and sports and everything. So they're not necessarily like researching homes during the day. They're doing it in the evenings or on the weekends. And so open houses are huge right now, especially in some of the markets where like days on the market have been increasing. So open houses, are you the type of loan officer that just shows up and just walks in and, oh, hey, Sally, how you doing? Oh, nice to whatever. And then just kind of a check the box, oh, I checked the box, man. I went to an open house. Like that's not doing anything for your partner, for your real estate agent. That's not doing anything for you. What if you showed up and especially right now, it's Halloween. Like what if you brought treats to it? What if you brought marketing materials? What if you reached out ahead of time and asked Sally, the agent, hey, what are you struggling with? Do you understand seller concessions? Not only with a conventional loan and an FHA loan, and especially with a VA loan where seller concessions can pay off buyer's debt if there's a close DTI issue. Like show them that you are trying to help. And if they don't, and then you have that conversation, maybe you bring materials around a 2-1 temporary buy down with real numbers, and you have that prepared at the open house. Like that is all about going the extra step rather than just showing up. We have to go the extra step because that's what the winners are doing right now. And it's all about creating a +1 experience for not only your buyers, but for, as an LO, as my realtor partners. Like how many other loan officers are doing the prep work? How many other loan officers are finding Sally, the agent, saying, hey, what open houses do you have going? Do you mind if I make like a quick 1-minute highlight reel of taking all your listing photos and putting it into some music and creating like a little snazzy video? Would you mind sharing? Like, could we share that? Yes, like that's a +1 experience, and it's really not that hard to do. It goes back to excuses all the time. I have LOs that are like, oh man, well, I don't know how to do all those fancy videos. Well, like, dude, there's programs out there. Like, I'm not a CapCut affiliate or anything, but I use CapCut because you know why? It's really simple. And if you just put a little bit of effort into it, probably 30 minutes, you can figure it out. You can figure out how to drag and drop photos and put some titles and some captions and some music to it. And it's not that hard. But people don't even go down that route initially because they limit themselves, right? That mental block. They're like, well, I don't know how to do that, man. That's for that other loan officer that does all those reels, who gets all that engagement, who gets all that attention, because they were actually putting in the work to put themselves out there, right? That is a winner. Do not make an excuse. If you don't know how to do something, then learn how to do it. If you say there's not enough time in the day, wake up 30 minutes earlier, wake up an hour earlier, go to bed an hour earlier. Like, you can find time. Do not make the excuse that there's not enough time just because you don't know how to do something. All right. So I was talking about the +1 experience. Having information readily available. I'm telling you right now that, at the time of this recording, which is Halloween 23, seller concessions in most markets, I'm licensed in about 40 states, so I get to see a lot of different markets, is huge. Most of my purchases right now, sellers are offering some type of seller concession to help incentivize buyers during a higher rate environment. So are you conveying this information to your realtor partner? Are you providing them the education and the data that actually shows, hey, rather than dropping the price 10,000, if you actually give 10,000 in seller concessions, it's actually more beneficial to the buyer and the seller, and it's the same, so they don't really care. Show them the data, like break it out for them. That is a +1 experience. And then as previously I was talking about the open houses, is anything you can do. Like I've seen people do drawings for random, door prizes at open houses, all types of them. Just get creative, figure out a way to help stand out, not only for you, but your real estate partners. That is a winner's mindset. You actually look at this like, wow, this is a tough market. You look at it as a way to stand out. That's what you have to do. I actually look at this and I think, whoo, this is fantastic. I see all these people. This sounds bad, and don't take this the wrong way, like, families and income, and you support families, but like I see a lot of people giving up and just, leaving and going and doing another job. You know what's going to happen when this market ever turns, and it will. Like I don't know if it's 6 months from now, 12 months, 24 months, but whenever the rates do drop and all this pent up demand of these buyers that have been sitting on the fence because they've convinced themselves that now's not the best time to buy, they're going to be flooding the market. And the loan officers that were winning this entire time, that were going back to the basics and tracking their sales activities, those are the ones that are going to win tenfold. All right. And the real estate agents that are on this, that are doing the exact same, they're going to win. And so internally, this is more for the UMortgage loan officers that are on this. If you're not part of the Level Up Sales Coaching, this is what we do. This is what we do with our student loan officers, and we meet weekly and we go over a variety of topics, but most of it is concerned with sales activities, right? Lead generation, calling clients, past clients, real estate partners, all these things that you think would be a given, but it's really not, because like I said, the day gets busy and you get caught up in a loan or something comes up, and then you just forget to do all these other things. Well, when you start tracking them, when you start tracking your leads, how much is a lead worth? How much is a lock worth? How much is a pre-approval worth? Like, we have this data. We can pull it out of our system and show you exactly based on your income goals. Hey, I want to make $100,000 next year, 200,000, 300, whatever it is. We can show you how much this data is worth. How much is a lead worth to you? You'd be surprised. I will just tell you that. And so it got to get into some type of coaching program. And so if you don't have this, right, you don't work at UMortgage, you work at another company, you've got to figure out some type of group that's going to lead with education and coaching. There's some out there that you have to pay money, and I'm not knocking those. There's some out there that are free, and I'm not knocking those. You got to find what fits you and what ultimately you're going to take serious and hold yourselves accountable. I like to surround me personally, I'm a veteran and I do a lot of VA loans. So I like to surround myself with other like-minded real estate agents and loan officers that are just extremely dedicated to VA loans and VA education, because there's a lot of people on this call, y'all know the myths, you've seen them out there around VA loans. I want to surround myself, because I don't know all whatever 600 pages of the 26-7 VA lender's handbook. I'm learning every single day, and you see stuff every single day, and you share it with each other. Hey, here's what happened. Here's how we got through it, and here's what we're doing going forward to make sure like this doesn't happen to our buyer again. That's strong. That is very strong. If you help save a loan or a purchase from another, it started over at lender A and now it's over with you. Do you not think, like, if you save that purchase for that family and they actually get to get into their house, how strong that is for not only for them, but also the agents involved? They're like, wow, like Jay is our guy. Like, he saved this deal because he's educated, he's dedicated himself, he's winning in this market. They're going to be referral partners for life. All right. So you got to find some type of group that's going to hold you accountable. And like I said, it's got to be similar individuals. Don't go join a popular coaching group because Joe or Susie or whoever did, and they like it. Like, it's got to make sense for you and your business and the way you operate. What's the cadence for it? Like, do you have to meet every single day? Well, if that's the type of cadence you need, then do it every single week, every single month. You know what's best for you and your business. And at the end of the day, you don't want to get burnt out. Like, you don't want to just do it so much and you're like, man, I'm not getting anything of it. That's another common misconception, is like, you can't just do something once, twice, 3 times and expect all of a sudden just the results to start flooding in. Like, how many times have y'all seen that? Diets are the prime example, or an exercise at the first of the year. People start so motivated, they do 1, 2, 3, 4, and they don't see the results right away. They don't receive that instant gratification and they give up on it. Y'all, this is no different. This business is no different. If anything, it's like the complete opposite. Like, I wish they would be like that. I wish I could just talk to somebody, get an application in, get the pre-approval in, and get them under contract, bam, 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 bam. Y'all know it doesn't work that way. It sometimes takes weeks, months, years of working with somebody before the time is right and they finally get under contract and they're finally moving forward with a purchase. So you cannot just give up. If you're seeking an instant gratification, I don't know, man, this industry is probably not for you. And so establishing goals, everyone's heard of the SMART goals, the acronym for specific and measurable. Like, you have to have goals that you can actually capture analytics around and see if you're meeting them. You can't just say, hey, I want to do 5 purchases a month and not like back into it and figure out, how am I going to get there? Like, how many phone calls do I have to make? How many pre-approvals do I have to do? How many locks do I have to do? You have to have the data and the math to really, really hone in on it. And that's going to help you get out there and start winning. I know I've like rambled a lot, but I wanted to see if there's any questions on what I've talked about. But at the end of the day, it's having discipline. The people with the most discipline and the least amount of excuses right now are the ones that are winning. All right, let me check, see if there's any questions. All right, well, unless there's no other questions, I appreciate everyone, and y'all go out there and win.